Hi, this is Evan Center of Center Institute, back for another conversation about private practice on my couch in my private practice office. A couple of years ago, I used to check a particular blog, usually twice a day. They were posting twice a day, like 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., almost 5 days a week. And I would check that blog almost like clockwork because I knew that they were posting new blog posts at that time, and I was honestly completely addicted. The blog was called Young House Love, and it was about home remodeling. It was about some lifestyle stuff too, but mostly it was beautiful pictures of do-it-yourself projects within this particular family's home. And then about 2 years ago, they stopped blogging altogether, and it was crushing to me. So recently, when they started podcasting, I thought, oh my God, they're back. And I listened to one of their podcasts recently, the first one that I listened to, and I think it was called "What We Learned from Quitting Blogging" or something like that. And it was really interesting because some of their points, and I don't remember all of them exactly, but some of their points were really, really applicable to private practice. And so I wanted to share some of their points with you today and my take on how they're related to private practice. So one of their points was that you have to know your purpose. You have to know what your mission is. That would be, I guess, how I would say it, is knowing your mission. But you have to know your purpose, and you have to follow your passion. And sometimes in business, in running a blog, or in this case, in running a private practice, you might get sidestepped or pulled off track because of making money, because of trying to bring in clients, because of some other need that's not really truly aligned with or related to your purpose and your mission, the reason why you got into this work in the first place, and the reason why you moved from agency work to private practice work, or are moving from agency work to private practice work. And so if you can keep that mission in mind, it allows you, when you've noticed that you're not feeling really connected to the work anymore, it allows you to go back and revisit that mission and realign your work with that mission. Because if you get too far pulled off that track, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to feel like you are your own boss. It's going to feel like you're working in an agency again, and that's not the point. They also talked about really being yourself. And I mean, this is interesting. I think I did a video about this recently called Purple Hair, and it is so critical. I mean, we learn about the blank screen in grad school, sort of early ideas of psychotherapists as a neutral vessel that clients can project their transference upon, or they can project whatever they need to upon, and the therapist is really, really neutral. I think in reality, at this point, we all recognize that it's impossible to be completely neutral. Clients pick up on things as soon as they walk into the building of our office. They understand things about us based on how we furnish our office, how we dress ourselves. So we can't be completely neutral. And I would take it a bit farther to allow yourself, your personal style as a therapist, your beliefs about how therapy works or about what methodology you use. I would encourage anybody to really truly be themselves, stand in their own shoes as a therapist, and let that come out. Let it be really clear to potential clients and existing clients who you are, because it will ultimately, it will draw people in. It will make people feel like they have a sense of who you are, and that they have a sense that they know you, and that will deepen their connection with you. It will make them want to work with you if it feels like a good fit, and make them probably not want to work with you if it's not a good fit, but that's good. Ultimately, you need to be yourself in your practice. They also said, the Young House Love folks, John and Sherry also said that when you need to take a break, do it. Take a break. I have definitely found that this has been something that I have had to learn with some difficulty and over time. When I was earlier on in my private practice, it was really hard for me to take breaks because there were many forced breaks, right? There were periods of time when I was hardly seeing any clients. And so I felt like I almost had too much time on my hands. So I would end up working at odd hours, or it was silly in retrospect, and I feel a little embarrassed even sharing that with you. And then as I got busier, I felt a sense of desperateness, and I still had trouble taking breaks. And it's really been in the last couple of years, I think, that I've learned that those breaks are so critical for the work that we do with our clients, for recharging ourselves and being able to show up for our clients. And just in general, being able to take really good care of ourselves. And I've found that I have become worse at email responses as I've gotten better at taking breaks. And I think that's okay. I think we don't all have to be perfect all the time. And it's, a constant process for me of trying to find that place of balance. And I haven't found it yet. I'm still working on it. But I certainly am taking more breaks now than I used to, and it's really helpful. Finally, one of the points that ultimately really stood out for me with John and Sherry of Young House Love in their podcast the other day was keep whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating, whether it's a blog or a private practice or a private practice that uses a blog to market, keep it really fresh. Keep it really innovative, and try not to be so formulaic. Don't, just because you figured out something that people want to read or want to watch or want to listen to, don't keep on doing that same thing over and over again. It's going to bore the heck out of your readers or your listeners or your potential, your marketing, the population that you're marketing to. But the other thing is, it's going to bore the hell out of you. And maybe this is about your marketing, but maybe it's about the kind of services that you're providing, or maybe it's about the niche that you're targeting and that you're working with. And I've got to say, I'm not bored with teenagers at all at this point. If anything, I think I'm more interested in teenagers than I was a number of years ago when I was feeling kind of burnt out particularly on the teenagers that parents would drop off and want me to fix them and not want to participate in the process. But there are other ways to keep it fresh. And so for me, I think I mentioned this, I went to a sports psychology training recently, and that is really exciting and gets me really invigorated about reaching out to the student athlete population in Bozeman. And also, I think keeps it fresh for the people who like referring to me, or for old clients who maybe I've been working with for a long time, but now we get to add this layer to our work that is new. And fortunately, we're all required to get CEUs every year. So picking ones that feel like they are really invigorating and allow you to feel like you're innovating and keeping your process creative, keeping your process fresh, it makes a big difference. So that's all for today. I will, on my website, provide a link to John and Sherry of Young House Love, their podcast that I'm talking about. And till next time, talk to you soon.